Okay, I'm pausing the video so I can kind of come around and see how you're doing. Every time I pause that, though, when I post it on your canvas, that just means it's going to be a new video. You might have like 6 videos for one thing, step by step. Got it. Part of it. That part. For the most part, they look all right. I'm not looking for perfect today. I'm just looking at, are you getting the concept? Getting your paintbrush strokes going the right direction? You have a nice light area in here. The main thing you want to try to avoid anywhere in the water or the sky is any vertical lines or diagonal lines. Okay, everything needs to go horizontal. So all your paintbrush strokes, you want to make sure everything appears horizontal and nothing is going vertical or at an angle across there. I think we're about ready to attack these trees. Well, I lied. We need to do this ground below because that's our next lightest area. Then we'll attack the trees. Okay, for the trees, of course, we're going to use green. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up some green. Bring it back up higher. Some green ready. And this is going to stay a fairly light green. I'm going to bring it over to a different spot in my tray because I don't want to mix them with my blue. I got quite a bit of green mixed up. Then I'm going to do something just a little bit different. I'm going to come and get some of my yellow. I'm loading my brush up. I don't know if you can see that, but my brush got quite a bit of yellow. And I'm going to mix it with the green. And it gives me a pretty yellow-green kind of color. It's a lighter green. It's a different color than what it was by adding a little bit of that green. It's more vibrant. You see on my test paper, this was the original green, this is the yellow green. I kind of want that yellow green. And then when I paint on this hill, it's going to go a little different. I'm going to go right where that crease is, right there. And bring it up. I'm going to come up from the bottom. And all these brush strokes are going to kind of follow the contour of the hill. Down here, bring it up. These are all kind of curved, coming right off the water's edge, and then quite a bit right down in here. Stroke going through there. Kind of rubbing over the edges just to soften it slightly. Still want plenty of yellow showing. I just don't want a hard paintbrush stroke everywhere. So the initial paintbrush stroke is to establish where the light and darks are going to go. And then I come in here with a little bit of clear water and just soften everything down. While it's still a little bit wet, I might come in and add a little bit of dark here and there just for contrast. Your biggest battle with that will probably be trying to control it so that all the yellow doesn't go away. If you get too much green on, here's a little trick you can use. you can just take some clear water. Let's say I wanted this to be a little lighter right here. I got too much green, let's say. I just got some clear water, got it a little bit wet. Take my paper towel, press it down on it, lift it up, and just like that, it's light again. Okay. It's a little too much, so I'm going to green it a little bit. But so all is not lost. If all your yellow disappeared, you can always put a little water over, press your paper towel, lift it up, and whatever was underneath will reappear. Coming in along the base here and making some of this just a little darker. I want it kind of a little bit darker in a lot of the areas where it meets the water. But I had to wait for my paint to dry a little bit before I could come in here. Now, one little trick you can use is if it got too green and you lift off the paint, you can come in and get a little bit of yellow and just hit it here and there and establish some of the yellow back in there. Then just soften it with your brush like this, and it makes it a little bit yellow again. So it just stands out a little bit more. So once you finish that side, natural progression is to come to the other side. So come over here. I'm going to mix up a little more green before I start because I want to make sure I got plenty to finish this other side. Don't forget to add a little yellow to it. So when I'm doing this here, I got a little yellow coming up in here and adding it to it to get a yellow-green. Testing my color. Wherever there's a fold or a crease like that, I'll go first. Keeping a nice curve in my lines. A little darker along the bottom edge. Before that completely dries, again, come in and soften everything up. It's almost like a blur tool. If you're using like Photoshop or something, you're just kind of blurring the edges. And I turn my paper this way because it's easier for my hand to swivel at my wrist and get the correct direction of the brush stroke than trying to paint like this and go opposite of what my hand wants to do. Now I've got both my little land masses on there. I'm going to let them dry for a second before I do anything else. And I apologize if I get going too fast on some of it, but when you're dealing with wet paint, sometimes that's just the nature of the beast. There's not much you can do about it. And even looking at mine, this hill turned out better than that one. Kind of knew what it was going to look like, so I got a little better on the next one. I'm going to show you how to do one of the trees, and then it will kind of apply to the rest of them. I've got my green already mixed up from doing the hill down below, so I'm going to come along and I'm going to do this tree right here. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to come to the inside and kind of mimic what the outside edge does, but I'm leaving lots of space. Then through the middle, I'm going to go right to the edges of my tree over here. I'm actually going to paint the tree right through here, going all the way. Careful not to paint too much into the tree that's in front of it. All right, so now I've got a little bit of a yellow edge there. I got my whole tree painted in. I'll rinse my brush out really, really well. And all I've got is just a tiny bit of water in it. I'm just going to come along that edge that I left with just a little bit of water, soften that edge, bring it towards the edge of the tree, and just kind of blend it over and leave just the slightest bit of yellow on the left edge of my tree. Just barely. I mean, it's just like a hairline through here is all I'm leaving. show up more in a minute when I darken this tree considerably. But for now, I just want to give the hint of a yellow light down this edge, just barely any. While I'm waiting for that one to dry, I'm going to do the same thing with this tree over here. Exact same method, coming around, loosely basing it off the edge that's to my left. Right up to the center. It's not so much being perfect on this, it's just remember to leave a little bitty edge on the left edge, and then take your time when you do the right edge. You just come right on those little tree branches or the bough of the tree, whatever you want to call it. And be a little careful there. So what I have now when I look up there is I got this big edge right here, and I've got this all filled in on the right side. And then I'm going to come in and just soften that edge just slightly with clean water. And just kind of blur that edge and leave it the tiniest edge. Just to give it barely a hint of light coming through. I'm going to walk up there a little ways. I can't quite tell. Now with mine, I'm noticing that when I did that larger tree that my yellow wasn't quite dark enough. It's kind of a really light yellow. So I'm going to just kind of highlight it a little bit with just a little bit of yellow. Just taking my brush and putting it in there. So I got just slightly more of a yellow glow. These trees we're going to have to finish up Wednesday and the rest of the painting. But we got pretty far today, actually. I think we did pretty good. So I'm going to stop here because it's just a good place to stop. We got a little extra time, but it is a good place to stop, kind of let that dry out. I'm not going to come over and do these on the left just yet. And there is quite a bit of finishing we're going to do on these two trees that we've already painted, but we got a really good base on there right now. And I think it's just a good spot to stop. So if you get to that point of completion,